Hi, in this video we're going to look at the area of a trapezium and a parallelogram, and also going to throw in a bit of Pythagoras as well, as it tends to come up quite a lot in GCSE questions. First, I'm going to start off with a quick Pythagoras recap. So, to solve this question, we need Pythagoras' theorem. Again, this only works for right angle triangles. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Key thing is, c is always your longest length. A and b can go either way, they don't really matter. We then plug in what we know, which is that a is 10, b is 6, and c is x. We know what x squared is, but we only want x, so therefore x will be the square root of 10 squared plus 6 squared. Having worked it all out, we can then just throw that into our calculator. So here x would be 11.7 to three significant figures. Just one more example. So again, your first step will be to write down that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We then label our triangle. Again, c is your longest length, it won't always be in the obvious position. If you're not sure which longest length is, it's always the one opposite the right angle. Again, a and b don't matter. So plug that in. X squared plus 4 squared equals 11 squared. We want to get x squared by itself, so the opposite of plus 4 squared is to take away 4 squared. And then just as before, to work out x, we want to do the square root of this. So do square root of 11 squared minus 4 squared, and again, you would just reach your calculator and type that straight in. Okay, that was a quick recap. That'll come more useful in a few minutes' time. On to the main thing, which is the area of parallelogram and the area of a trapezium. So for parallelogram, all you need to do is just base times height. Okay, so it's basically the same form as a rectangle. Height is always the vertical height straight up. So here the height is 6. We don't need this 5. You'd only need it if you're working out the perimeter, which will all the way around the outside. So here the area would just be 6 times 4, which is 24 centimeters squared. Okay, fairly basic, slightly harder, and again, you see examined a lot more, is the area of a trapezium. So here we have this formula, a half a plus b times h, where h is still the height. A and b are just top and bottom. Again, they can go in either order. So it's going to be a half of the top plus the bottom times the height. Again, if you want, you've got it straight into calculator, or you just work it out normally. 14 plus 6 is 20, half of 20 is 10, and 10 times 7 is 70. So this will be 70 centimeters squared. Just a couple more examples, because I throw out a lot of ways at you. So here, this trapezium is on its side. Your top and bottom A and B are now left and right, and your H is what would be your base if it was a rectangle. So now we throw it in. A half A plus B times the height. 9 plus 5 is 14, half of 14 is 7, and 7 times 11 is 77. So the area of this will be 77 centimeters squared. Just one more, the exact same idea. That's A, that's B, and that's H. Again, this is only H if you're told this is a right angle. And again, you plug it straight in, you would get another answer for that. Okay, let's change a bit. So we saw a similar question. Now I want to find the length of x. Now for this is going to go back to Pythagoras. You should realise if you make a chop here, you've got a right angle triangle, and you know that the height is 6, and also this length is 6, because it is 12 take away 6. So we do Pythagoras on this triangle. So A, B, and C. So we have that 6 squared plus 6 squared equals x squared. So therefore x is going to be the square root of that. And again, you would just plug that straight into your calculator to work it all out. So here that length would be 8.49 to three significant figures. Okay, again we can do the same thing with this triangle here. That'll still be Pythagoras. You would chop it here, so you have a rectangle and a right angle triangle. This will be 11, and this length here would be 4, because it's 9 take away 5. Again, 11 squared plus 4 squared is x squared, and then square root the answer. Okay, more exam style questions. Here you want to find the area of the following shape. So you should recognise we have a rectangle and a trapezium top of that. So for my rectangle, that would just be base times height, so 13 times 5, which is 65. For the trapezium, the base is going to be this 13, so we've got 13, 3 and 4, and it would be a half top plus bottom times the height, which in this case is 4. 13 plus 3 is 16, half of 16 is 8, and 8 times 4 is 32. So for the total area, you add these both together, you would do 65 plus 32, which gives you 97 centimeters squared. Okay, again, more exam style. So here we have a hole, which is labeled for parallelogram, inside a rectangle. So you would just do the whole rectangle, and then you would subtract the parallelogram that's on the inside. So to work that out, you would do 12 times 5, take away 3 times 4. So again, just showing all the ways they tend to throw at you in an exam. This probably basically the hardest way they can throw it at you. On the area of this shape, it's half a plus b times h. At first glance, it's really straightforward. Like, the mistake will be to literally plug that straight in, but hopefully you have realised that the h, the height, is not 5. This height that should go here should be the height that goes straight up. And to work that out, we need to use Pythagoras by chopping it into a triangle. So that's my x. To use Pythagoras, we're going to need the base of this triangle, which we can work out, because there's a difference between 7 and 4, so that's going to be 3. So before I can find the area, I have to use Pythagoras to work out the height. So label my triangle. C is always the longest length, and again A and B don't matter. So x squared plus 3 squared equals 5 squared. We want x squared by itself, so we have to take away the 3 squared. And then the opposite of squaring is square rooting. So x will be the square root of this, which comes out at giving you 4 if you check that. So now to work out the area, we do a half, 4 plus 7 times 4, which will give you 22, or 22 meters squared. So those kind of things made for your exams. We'll see a few more exam style questions. And that is this question here. So we've got the same shape as before, and I've got a lot of wording thrown to it here. So Eric wants to put grass seed on his lawn, diagram to the left. It costs him $3.99 for each packet, which will cover 5 meters squared. How much will it cost to cover the whole garden? So we've already worked out the area was 22 meters squared. So from that, we can work out how many packets he's going to need. We need to do 22 divided by 5. We go to our calculator, and that says that is going to be 4.4. Now we can't buy 0.4 for a packet, so to make sure he's got enough grass seed, we have to round up. So that equals 4.4, so we need 5 packets. We're then told how much each packet costs. Each packet costs £3.99, so we just do 5 times £3.99. Okay, that will give you 19.95. And that's pretty much it. Hope that helped, and thanks for listening.